Hey guys, welcome back to Hakuoki Edo Blossoms, where we are about to begin Mr. Toshi's route. As hard as it is for me to move on from my boy, Soji, I am excited to do Toshi's route because we're gonna see a whole bunch of different stuff that was completely shut off from us when we were on Soji's route. And we should have more angst with Chikage showing up and causing a fuss with Toshi, I'm thinking. So yeah, let's begin and get our summary of where we were last time, because it's been quite a while since we saw this beautiful man. He looks like an actor, you know. Nods knowingly. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm nodding knowingly. Prologue! Alright. Oh yeah, we were looking out at the dawn on the boat. That's right. He was being all strong, now that he's a fury. And man, Yamazaki sacrificed himself for Toshi. I do remember that. That was really sad. Him and Chikage are pretty evenly matched, though. Winter 1864. In order to find my father, with whom I'd lost contact, I, Chizuru Yukimura, visited Kyoto. In that city, I bore witness to a horrifying secret hidden within a group called the Shinsengumi, the Fury, a creature with white hair and crimson eyes. Luckily, I was saved from the vicious clutches of the Furies by Saito and Okito, the Shinsengumi. And perhaps most importantly, Toshizo Hijikata. That guy. Because I had discovered the Shinsengumi secrets, it was proposed that I live with the Shinsengumi men since they were also searching for my father. As such, I was to serve under Hijikata as the commander's page, a role I performed proudly. So, thus begun my life with the Shinsengumi. I'd heard rumors, well, whispers really, that the Shinsengumi was little more than a bunch of crooked ronin, but my life with them proved otherwise. Their commitment to protect the safety of Kyoto made them the last of a dying breed. True samurai. It set them apart from those who only craved power. The man tasked with leading the Shinsengumi through these trying times was Hijikata, who perhaps was better known as the Demon Commander. However, as I spent more time with him, I realized that this facade was a front in order to motivate his men in times where victory seemed impossible. He's a big old softy. I remember one such time where three men claiming to be demons, Chikage Kazuma, Kyuju Amagiri, and Kyo Shiranui, confronted the Shinsengumi. I discovered that I, too, was of demon lineage, which explained why they'd been pursuing me. But it was Hijikata who had been protecting me all along. Our situation, however, became increasingly dire. Anti-shogunate sentiments were growing intensely throughout the country, and the war between the shogunate and the Satsuma Choshu seemed inevitable. Then finally, the Battle of Toba-Fushimi had begun. In order to protect me, Hijikata had drunk the water of life, which transformed him into a fury, and overcame Kazuma in a one-on-one battle. The Satsuma and Choshu, however, were victorious. So, the Shinsengumi was forced into fleeing the city they called home, Kyoto, and headed for Edo. And we're back, baby! Edo Blossoms. I'm kind of sad that in that synopsis they didn't go over a lot of the touching moments that Toshi had with her. Like talking about her own self-worth and really building up her confidence in herself and stuff like that. Or him working on his poetry or stuff like that, or his beautiful hair. I mean, it was a good synopsis, but it was mostly like, here's the main story beats, but not really about your relationship with him. Kind of interesting. A little different from Soji. Oh. Would it kill you to smile? Achievement unlocked. We'll work it out of him one of these days. Oh boy, we have a ton of stuff. After arriving in Edo, we stayed at the Kama Inn, which was located in Shinagawa and had normally been designated for Hatamoto exclusively. Alright. Edo. the Tokugawa Shogunate's base of operations. Both the Shinsengumi and the protagonist hail from here. Alright, Kama Inn. Hold on, before I do that, Kama, Shinagawa, and Hatamoto. I don't think I'll remember all of that. Encyclopedia. Okay, Hatamoto. High-ranking vassals of the Tokugawa clan who serve the shogun directly. Kama Inn. An inn reserved by family members of military officials while state business was conducted in Edo. I think the last one was an S, right? Shinagawa. A small ward of Edo proper, home to many quaint shrines. It is a bureaucratic nook. Okay. Alright, we're all caught up. A recent attempt on Kondo's life required that he and Okita, who had contracted tuberculosis, were to stay with Dr. Matsumoto to treat their conditions. Oh, look at our boy. Captain of the Shinsengumi's 1st Division. After returning to Edo, he is diagnosed with tuberculosis and becomes bedridden. Oops, back. Losing the Battle of Tobufushimi and Osaka Castle, and Lord Yoshinobu, the Supreme Commander, retreating. Shogunate Army, a highly organized military led by the Supreme Ruler, the Tokugawa Shogun. Any troops serving under the banner of the Shogun fall within its ranks. I don't know if any more stuff on here is something to look at. Why is my chair so squeaky? Hold on. Ugh. Silence, chair. Silence! Creak, creak, creak. Okay, let's see if that stops you from creaking. The fate of the Shinsengumi grew bleaker, and troops began openly voicing their doubts and concerns. This is a completely new thing we're seeing. Yo, anyone know when Chief is coming back? He better not have run away just to save his ass like Yoshinobu. I will not hear you speak so disrespectfully of the Chief. Soma, it's been forever.
No way. He'd never do that. Look, all of you who are complaining are better off just focusing on the work we have ahead of us.
Soma was the one to speak against the naysayers. Go Soma. A page to the chief of the Shinsengumi. After a bout of soul-searching, he chose to depart the Shogunate army to join the Shinsengumi. He is known for his curt, respectful demeanor. Normally, such insubordination was met with harsh reprimanding, if not more, but things had changed.
Hey, you guys are talking too much. If you've got time to screw around, how about you go sharpen your swords, huh?
Yes, sir! My apologies! It wasn't just the tempers of the soldiers that were fraying. Nagakura and the others were just as tense. Shinpachi, captain of the Shinsengumi 2nd Division and a native of Edo. He prides himself on his swordsmanship, his cheery disposition, and his ability to raise the morale of his men by telling them to go sharpen their swords. So you guys all still have your old outfits, I see. Harada watched the two men scurry off and sighed. Captain of the Shinsengumi's 10th Division and a native of Edo, he is very skilled with the spear, which is his weapon of choice. There is a scar on his stomach from an attempt at honorable suicide.
Well, I can see where they're coming from. As soon as war broke out, the man at the top was the first to run. Doesn't get worse than that. Maybe, but I mean... what else would you expect? Wasn't the man a national loyalist from Mito?
Imperial Nationalist Party, supporters of the Emperor who are fiercely critical of foreign influence in Japan. During the initial phase of the Bakumatsu period, the Satsuma Choshu considered themselves members of this ideology. And... Mito? Mito Domain. One of the 3 houses of the Tokugawa, the domain and their daimyo have had strong nationalist tendencies for generations.
He probably just pissed himself once he saw the Sacho waving the gold brocade flag. He can't look like much of a threat from their side of things.
The official flag of the Imperial Army. During the Battle of Tobufushimi, it was the flag used by the Satsuma Choshu to declare their allegiance.
Don't give me that loyalist bullshit. You turn your back on your men who are willing to die for you, all you are is a son of a bitch.
Damn straight, Harada. A term for the philosophical and political leanings of those who supported the shogunate.
So... what's gonna happen now? Kondo's stuck in bed. Even if we wanted to take it to the Sacho again, our swords ain't gonna touch them if they have guns. We're screwed. Oh.
Nagakura let his shoulders slump. Blech. If the men under you are willing to give their lives for your cause, then morale can always be raised, no matter what odds you may be up against. But Yoshinobu, in spite of this, chose to retreat. Then what were the Shinsengumi supposed to fight for? What were they supposed to do?
Future is looking pretty dark for us. Thinking about it's just bumming me out, though. Maybe we ought to head over to Yoshiwara.
An authorized, self-contained red light district in Edo where the licensed brothels can be found. I'm glad some things stay the same with you guys.
Yoshiwara? Really? In a time like this? Of course, you idiot! Times like this are when we gotta party hard! We gotta lift spirits somehow!
Hey, Nomura!
Huh, does anyone know where Saito is? I haven't seen him around lately.
Saito, captain of the 3rd Division of the Shinsengumi. He is a left-handed master of EI. He was temporarily associated with Kashitaro Ito's group under the command of the commander.
Command of the commander.
Nomura asked aloud, glancing around the room. This is just us getting all the encyclopedia stuff. A page to the chief of the Shinsengumi. He is close friends with Kazue Soma, as the two are close in age and peers in their positions.
Saito is off to Dr. Matsumoto's. He's checking in on the injured and sick.
He didn't come visit me last time. I'm glad he's visiting Soji, though.
I see.
Winning the next battle was of utmost importance. I knew everyone was giving everything they had, but... memories of the peaceful times back in Kyoto were like a candle flickering in the wind, one breath away from darkness. Sometimes I wondered. I wondered if those memories really happened at all. Wow. Well, we're depressed too. One day, an unexpected guest had visited the Kama Inn. So we're at an inn. Oh, hi! It's been a hot minute, Mr. Iba.
Yeah. Hello. It's been a while.
Oh, I believe you were... Iba, was it? Oh, just keep twisting that sword in his heart. The eldest son of one of the oldest and most respected dojos in Japan, he is a master of the Shinkyoto Ryu martial arts, and his prowess granted him prestige among warriors and officials.
Yes. I've come to discuss some important matters with Toshi. Would you mind taking me to him?
Sure, please, wait a moment. Sometime after I led Iba to Hijikata's room, murmurs of conversation suddenly became exclamations, and finally the man himself. After drinking the water of life during the Battle of Tobufushimi, he becomes a fury, persevering through immense agonizing pain by working day and night to make up for Kondo's absence. What a hard-working boy. Ooh.
What? Are you sure? Yes. Supposedly an urgent matter has come to his attention, meaning he can't meet with us. No, we need to talk to him. I don't care how. If we don't, we're stuck here. I'll go.
Oh. And with that, Hijikata stormed out of the room in a fit. Welp. He looked awful when I had come in. Really, all I could hope for is that he'd be alright. Did something happen?
Hijikata planned to meet with a member of the Bakushin today, but I'd gotten word that he planned on not showing, so I came to notify Hijikata.
Oh, what a dick! Thanks for letting us know. Hijikata had been attempting to gather shogunate support to launch another campaign against the Satsuma Choshu by meeting with shogunate leaders. However, the unwillingness of the shogunate leaders to entertain Hijikata's desperate initiative means... Do you think the shogunate doesn't want to fight against the Imperial Army anymore?
Whatever the case, Lord Yoshinobu has deferred military control to the Imperial Army. My superiors have instructed me to not make any rash decisions in the meantime. Honestly, in times like these, I am a little envious of Toshi because he can do as he pleases. Anyway, I will be leaving now. Please, send my regards to everyone.
Oh, sure, of course! I'm sorry that I couldn't offer you more courtesy in your stay. Thanks for giving us the news, even if it was bad. Shortly after Eva had left Kama Inn, a familiar figure approached to ask me something. Oh, hi!
Yukimura, is the commander inside?
Oh, you just missed him. He stepped out. Did you have business with him?
Jeez, ever since we got here in Edo, he's been working non-stop.
I know. I seriously wonder how he finds the time to sleep, if at all. It's also daytime, I just realized. He's keeping himself awake during the day as a fury. This boy! As far as I knew, Hijikata should have been suffering an agonizing pain during the daylight hours because of his condition as a fury. However, seeing him work as tirelessly as he does, one would have no clue of his affliction at all. Shimada, are you okay? You look a little more gaunt than usual, like you've lost some weight. Oh no. An officer in the Shinsengumi, as well as a spy with the watch, he's been with the Shinsengumi from the beginning and has been involved with all incidents in Kyoto, such as the Battle of the Ikeda.
Ah, well... Ever since Yamazaki passed away, I've had a lot more work to do.
I know. My bean. Look, there he is. So beautiful. A Shinsengumi officer and spy, better known for his work as a member of the Watch. Following his death at the Battle of Toba-Fushimi, he was given a burial at sea during the Shinsengumi's return to Edo.
But he left it to me, and I'll be damned if I dishonor his memory by messing it up. And after seeing how far the commander's pushing himself for us, it wouldn't feel right if I just sat around all day, you know.
I suppose. I knew how Shimada felt, but he was actually in a position to contribute. Unlike Shimada, there was nothing I could do for Hijikata, even though I yearned to be involved and do whatever I could to help him. Flashback. Aww. The day he died, Inoue had told me that while I might not be much help to the Shinsengumi as a warrior, there were other ways that I might be of service. Dad number 2. But what could I do for them? I thought about that every day since Inoue and Yamazaki had died, but I had yet to think of what it was that I could do.
Well, I've got plenty more to do, so I'll be on my way.
Oh, yes, of course. Please be careful.
By the way, I heard there are a lot of killers on the streets these days. Creeps are looking to test their swords on a living body. Don't travel alone, okay?
Okay. Aw, thank you, Shimada. Shimada nodded, then he lifted himself heavily to his feet and left. Later that night, I was waiting in the empty common room for the captains to return. I sat idly, twirling my hands in my finger... My hands in my fingers? How do you... do that? Huh. When I saw... Hey, Skay! It's been forever.
Evening, Chizuru!
Oh, hey, Skay. Where's everyone else?
Shin and Sano took the men to Yoshiwara, and wouldn't you believe it, they left me behind to house sit. Man, I'm not a servant, you know. They can't keep giving me this kind of bitch work.
Aw, I'm sad they left you behind.
Well, I guess it's cool they're acting like usual. To me, I mean. Like nothing ever changed. Ha ha ha.
His laugh sounded small and lonely in the empty hall. Oh, that reminds me. Do you know where Sanan is? Did he go somewhere?
Yeah, I heard he's out on patrol.
Patrol? But we're not in Kyoto anymore. No one's asked us to keep the peace in Edo. Why is he still doing it? He knows things. Girl, he be keeping an eye on all the things. You don't even know. Heisuke's face turned solemn, as if he were quietly searching for words while I waited in front of him. And then...
Sanan's been acting weird lately. Like, just today, soon as the sun went down, he told me he was leaving on patrol. I asked if he wanted me to go with him, but he said he'd be fine on his own.
Oh. Well, I heard that there have been a lot of killings at night recently. Maybe he went out to see if he could learn anything about that. He might not have the same authority that he had in Kyoto, but the Shinsengumi still worked for the shogunate. Perhaps Sanan was simply trying to protect Edo, regardless of whether he'd been asked to or not.
Well, if that's the deal, then good.
Heisuke didn't really sound like he actually thought it was, however. Look, I know he gives off the crazy mad scientist vibes, but he actually a really good boy, okay? Don't doubt the Sanan. Oh, Hijikata! Welcome back.
You're still up.
His face was still pale, but his tone was sharp. As I watched, I realized that he was only barely standing. Aww. He shook just slightly as he moved, and I got the feeling that if he let his concentration slip even a little, he would simply collapse. His legs wobbled underneath his kimono, and he curled his lips bitterly. There was something wrong, but what should I say? I mean, I'm sure everyone and their pet dog around here has been saying you should rest, Hijikata, and he would be really upset about that. Let's ask if we can do anything. He's good at, like, giving us orders and not being coddled and stuff like that. Is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can do to help? I knew what the answer would be, but I couldn't help asking.
No. Just stay put and stop thinking about that.
Oh, I see. Even though everyone else was working themselves to the bone, barely sleeping or eating, all I could do was sit around useless.
Hey, don't give me that look.
Oh, I'm sorry! I realized as my words came out that I'd only made things worse, and apologizing would make me sound more miserable. That wasn't good at all! I needed to be more cheerful. If I couldn't help, the least I could do was not bring everyone down. Yeah, I know you. You grumpy.
You don't need to worry about us. Just go make some tea, alright? Your tea isn't that bad, I guess.
I guess. Not that I like it or anything, Baka. Okay! I'll be right back. I ran off to the kitchen with a grin on my face. Hijikata's words cheered my mood, even just a bit. Your tea doesn't totally suck.
Hijikata, you put up a good front, but you're really pretty easy on her.
Shut it.
Hijikata, Heisuke can totally see what's going on here. Like, you sweet on her, I see. Here you go. I could only find some rakugan to go with the tea, but... A dried confectionery made with rice paste, I thought it was pasta, rice paste, sugar, and starch syrup, which is then colored and shaped into bite-sized portions.
It's fine. I have to get back to work as soon as I drink this anyway.
Are you sure you're going to be alright? You're a fury now. You should be sleeping during the day and working at night.
Hijikata didn't answer, instead choosing to sip his tea and sit in silence for a long, drawn-out moment.
When we were leaving Osaka Castle, Kondo said something to me. He said that if he were the shogun, even if he only had 200 men, he would have locked himself in the castle and fought until no one was standing. Then he would have gutted himself, like an honorable warrior. Now he's stuck in his bed, shot in the shoulder. He'd die for any one of us, and we all know it. Sure, I feel like shit, but that doesn't mean I get to rest.
But if you keep doing this, you're gonna be useless to everybody. The prospect of handing over a fully functioning Shinsengumi to his friend brought a gleam in his eye. Shinsengumi to his master and friend. What? A fully functioning Shinsengumi to his friend? What is... Oh, I see. Like, handing over, like, when Kondo comes back, the Shinsengumi is stronger than ever. I understand now, like... Is there another word that's supposed to be there? I get it. I'm just slow. If the rest of the men worried because their chief was wounded by a coward's bullet... Hijikata was buoyed by the simple fact that Kondo was alive, and that he had the courage to do what other leaders would not. He finished his tea quickly and returned to his room with only perfunctory thanks. Yesterday, his light had stayed on late into the night. Today would likely be no different.
I've got a bad feeling things are just gonna get worse from here. Hijikata's a fury, but it doesn't look like he's started to feel the bloodlust yet.
Oh yeah, right. How are we gonna find out that we should be giving him blood again? Bloodlust?
When you become a fury, something happens to you, and... well, sometimes you really, really want to drink blood. Like, you need to. It hurts. And not like how it hurts when you get beat up during sword practice. You want to die, just because that'll make the pain stop.
Oh no! Hijikata already looked terrible. If unbearable pain were suddenly added to his list of many burdens, he's probably been doing it all alone. Like, I don't feel the pain, it's fine. Yeah, of course, we're here with Heisuke and Sanan, who are both Furies as well, and we're gonna be, like, keeping our blood to ourselves, I assume? Unless Sanan's like, I'm gonna make some medicine from your blood. I don't know. Is there any way to do anything about it?
Well, if you drink some blood, then it goes away almost immediately, but only for a while. And the longer you go, the more painful it gets. At first, you only need a little blood to feel better, but after a while you need more. And pretty soon you need a whole lot of blood before it goes away.
I was at a loss for words. A monster that could only survive by drinking human blood? It seemed like the kind of monster that you could only hear about in legends. What about you, Heisuke? Are you, drinking blood?
Come on. You can't ask me that.
He made some manner of excuse after that and then shot up. He departed from the common room quietly, leaving me alone with my thoughts about Hijikata. Alright, fair enough. Was he really okay? Had Hijikata already experienced the bloodlust Heisuke told me about? Did he refuse to tell anyone about his suffering? That would be Toshi. He couldn't have been in the throes of it when I saw him, but it was clear that sooner or later he would find himself in a great deal of pain. He was doing so much for the Shinsengumi, I wanted to do something, anything to ease that pain. I know. He had been doing research on the Furies. Perhaps he'd left something useful behind at my house. Or the one that used to be mine. It was already too late to visit, so I resolved to go the next day and see if I could find anything. I don't have anybody to go with me this time. I have no Yamazaki to keep me company. The following day, I left a neatly written note behind at the inn for anyone who may have been wondering where I was headed. I guess I have freedom of movement now? Like, they're not gonna just kill me for running away. Like, I haven't run away. Right? I think? The headquarters of the Shinsengumi where members lived and took their meals. I departed from my old house in Edo. Hijikata had left long before me to meet with several members of the shogunate elite. No one had apparently visited the house in several years, and everything was covered in a thin layer of dust. Now, where would he keep his Fury research? It must be somewhere hidden. I brushed some of the dust off a stack of documents and opened them up. Each one was covered in barely legible scribbles. It would take me forever to decipher them. No, this was nothing compared to what the rest of the Shinsengumi went through. I had to do it. Aw, she's toughing it out. Shoot. I guess that wasn't it either. I sat back on the floor and sighed heavily as my eyes dropped to look at the dusty, unkempt floor. How foolish I'd been to think I could waltz into my house, find my father's secret documents, and solve something that had plagued the Shinsengumi for years. No, I couldn't give up. What would Yamazaki do if he were here? I had to keep trying. Sooner or later I'd find something. Hijikata and Heisuke needed my help. And Sanan too. I had to find something. From the corner of my eye, I noticed an earmarked fold in the stack. Huh? As I flipped open a particularly thick sheaf of papers, a small stack fell out and landed on the floor as a cloud of dust floated from its landing place. It appeared to be some kind of... Was it a formula? Is this about the Furies? As I studied it, I realized what I'd found. The paper described a medicine that could suppress the Furies' bloodlust, keeping them from losing control. The idea of Hijikata or Heisuke losing control was frightening, but I read on. It seemed that my father had returned to Edo just after I'd left for Kyoto. Well, that's convenient. While he was in Edo, he'd mixed up the ingredients for the medicine. I looked over the instructions. The ingredients he'd used were likely still in the warehouse. With his instructions, I should be able to mix it myself. This shouldn't take too long, right? And with my father's medicine, I could save Hijikata, Heisuke, and Sanan. I was going to seize this opportunity to help them. Alright, you remembered my boy. I ran to the warehouse and got to work. Come hell or high water, I would finish this.